You flooded RyanOnAir.com with votes for your favorite Tori Amos songs, and in just a few minutes, she's going to perform the song that you, as the viewing public, have chosen. But first, let's get to know her a little bit. Very talented, multi-platinum singer, songwriter, Tori Amos, ladies and gentlemen. They've been waiting for a long time to see you. You do, I mean, it is no secret, you do have an amazing fan base.
I'm blessed.
You really are.
Yes.
I mean, they know so much about you, and they connect with you in a very profound way, which is fantastic. And, you know, I've had the chance to get to know you over the last few years. Tori's a very smart cookie, ladies and gentlemen. She often, in an interview, will actually, like, the first time I interviewed her, I remember this? I asked you a question or two, and she answers sometimes in a way that you have to really be listening. Otherwise, she's saying something that completely didn't really correspond with your question. And unless you catch her, then, you know what I mean? Like, I'll say something, you remember what I'm talking about? I'm not really articulating it well. Anyway, I heard did you live right back here?
Well, if you can see the church.
I can see the church.
Are you sure? Because there's a very big billboard.
Trust me.
But there is a church.
I was not trying to overshadow the Methodist church back then. Oh.
Well, behind that, there was this little apartment. There were three in an old house, and I lived in the back one. And that's where I wrote Little Earthquakes, right behind that church.
Darn billboards, huh? Screwing everything up. Now, how's your daughter?
She's heaven, but she's been a bit naughty.
Naughty? Now,
Yes.
what is she, 3?
She's 3, and I was just in London recently, and the phone rings, and then the phone stops. A few minutes later, it rings again, and I say, hello. Answers, this is room service, excuse me, but a young girl just called and ordered champagne. I said, hold on a minute, please. I said, excuse me, Tash, did you just order some champagne? And she said, yes, I love it, Mom. I said, how do you know, what do you know about this? And she said, when you go away, sometimes Daddy falls asleep and...
No. And she's been tipping the cups?
I said, you are 3. And her father says, well, you know, she can bartend to pay for her private school. You know? But honestly, her champagne, what she doesn't understand is that I said to the room service guy, I said, you do cranberry raspberry with a bit of Sprite.
Is she playing the piano? I mean, you started when you were, what, like 2, 2.5?
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 years old.
The thing is, she sings every morning. I mean, she'll walk into Chelsea's office and say, hello, I am here. And, you know, everything is about a song. And she said, I want to learn to play the piano, Mommy. And so I said, well, okay. And I tried to find her a piano teacher. I said, I am not teaching because, you know, that's not good. So couldn't find one that would teach a 3-year-old. So I put on this hat and become Mrs. Paris. And so she goes to lessons with Mrs. Paris.
With Mrs. Paris,
yes.
But she doesn't realize that it's you.
Well, do you know what she said to Mrs. Paris?
I have no idea.
Because I put my hair up and had the hat on and everything. And I said, you know, do Butterfly on the piano. And you know, Butterfly. That's how you start, you know, animals on the piano at first so that they can make a relationship with the Busendorfer.
Right, sure.
And she's big.
And then you essentially, as mom, become Snuffleupagus because you're never there at the same time, right?
Well, and until she said, Mrs. Paris, could you teach my mommy to play the piano?
Herein lies a problem. Right, let's go outside. Lots of your fans, they've been waiting for a while. Rosanna is out. Look at all those folks waiting to see Tori Amos.
Hello, I am here with Mindy, who's got a question for you.
Hi, Tori.
Hi,
I love you.
honey.
I love you very much. I just really wanted to know, how do you put your daughter to bed when you're on the road? Do you sing to her? Do you read her read her a story? What do you do?
Well, when we're on the road, I'm on stage, so she usually puts the nanny to bed. But when we're at home, we have story time every night. And she gets to pick what stories that I read to her.
And then you read them to her and she falls
and
asleep?
I do, and then she wakes up in the morning and she, sings songs like, "What is that light in my face?" And I will say, "It is the sun." And she will say, "Turn it on."
Very shy young girl, isn't she?
She's shy, but lucky she's British because never sun's there.
Right.
So she never sees it. So it's it's a strange.
Drinking
occurrence.
champagne, checking out the sun. All right. Thanks, Rosie. Why don't you bring some of those folks up to see Tori Amos?
I think that'd be a great idea. What do you guys think?
After performing the songs that we've chosen, either leather or silent all these years, Tori Amos performing live right after the break. We'll be right back.